Just let go all night. If you feel it, just let go all night. If you feel it, just let go all night. If you feel it, just let go all night. If you feel it, just let go all night. Little while, it's safe to come out now. Little while.
Yo, what's up? How's it going, guys? Welcome back to our live stream here on Twitch. I'm your humble host, Fan Freak, aka Moistmaster Flex, back once again with the thick behavior. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope you guys had a good Monday, good start to your week. I definitely had a good weekend. We had our garage brunch on Saturday, just super dope. Sorry, I'm just popping out my contact lenses real quick. They're daily, so I could just pop them out and throw them away. Yeah, took out my eyeballs. All right. Yeah, we had our garage brunch on Saturday, little daytime event, which was dope. Really cool venue there in Hollywood. Hollywood rooftop. You could see the Hollywood sign from the rooftop. Lots of homies came out. Really dope music, really cool vibes. Yeah, hopefully we do more of those. Definitely want some more daytime events, especially for the spring and summer. Then yesterday I went to a soccer game. Actually, my first Major League Soccer game. For those of you not in America, football. Went to some, it was a really cool game. Pretty fun. Never been to an MLS game. Yeah, that was cool. Went with my family. But yeah, really dope weekend. Had a really good weekend. Had a good Monday. Good start to the week. Um, yeah. Um, Here's our tunes. I added a bunch of new stuff, as you can see here on the right side. On the left, we got Bender from the man's Broshi on Thick Freakness, my label. We have Daydream on 3000 Deep. We have Fresh Cut Freaks, which is our newcomer compilation. We have Tommy Gun from the man's Phantasm. Oh, did I put that? Not put that in there? How dare I? How dare I? Actually, I might have put it on there already. I just didn't. Maybe I just fucked up on the... How dare I? Maybe I just fucked up on the tag. I'm just checking real quick. I guess I didn't put it on there. Well, that's definitely my bad. All right, I'm just gonna add it on real quick. Sorry guys, just give me a second. I goofed up. Tommy Gun. And on the right side here, this is all new stuff. I have a free download coming out Wednesday, right here. This is Tanash 2 on. This is going to be coming out on 3000 bass. Nice little like speed garage kind of tune. Yes, that'll be out this Wednesday for free download. I don't have a link yet, but just keep an eye on my socials. I will be posting that, so you guys can get a free download. I also have a tune coming out this Friday with Nightblock and Dread MC on Prime Audio. This is some like 140, so definitely much thicker, kind of more wubby. What else? And then the VIP compilation. So what I ended up doing is I reached out to a couple of artists that are on Thick Freakness. I had them put together some VIP mixes of some of the, I guess, like higher performing tracks that we've released. So we have Tones, Reckless. We have Fox, Come Get It. We have myself and Eric Mark. Who's Ready? We have who else? Choli did a drum and bass remix of Benjamin's. And then Spencer Arnold did a VIP mix of Mercy, and then Dare 80 did a VIP mix of Lobotomy. So yeah, you guys can go check out that. That'll be out next Friday on May the 9th, but you guys can go pre-save that. That'll be available soon. And on the bottom right there, I don't have a link for this one yet, but my first track with Rhiannon Rose will be out on May the 23rd on 3000 bass. That's one of many tracks that me and her have together. I think we have another 3 more tracks coming out this year. And then another one that I'm pitching right now. So yeah, lots of music. Lots and lots of music. All right. This show is not there anymore. We had that show last week. This weekend. So yeah, this is the only show we got going on right now. This is our warehouse party this coming Saturday. Collaboration with Sub 49 and After Midnight. Saturday from midnight to 5 a.m. Very thick lineup, all back-to-backs. Lots of homies on this. So yeah, if you're in LA, this is a free show. You guys can come through. Just RSVP there. Link in the chat. And then lastly, our sponsor, Eargasm. If you guys need earplugs, go grab some. Promo code Phantom10. Per usual, go grab some. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we still got some sun out right now. It's basically sunset. So yeah. I guess we can just dive into the tunes. Hell yeah, brother. All right, let me see. Let me actually see if there was any other additional submissions before I go into the queue. Okay, we got 2 more submissions here. All right, and then I'm just gonna explain the rules real quick for you guys who are new here. So I basically take these in the order that I received them. So first come, first serve. And I prioritize people who are in the chat. So if you're in the chat, you will get your song reviewed. If you're not in the chat, I'm going to throw you to the back of the line, unfortunately. If you show up sometime in the middle of the stream, I'll put you back in the queue, so no problem. But yes, I am prioritizing people in the chat. So if you submitted a tune and you want to get your track reviewed, then stick around. And if you want to skip the queue, if you want to jump the line, you can use your channel points. You can use your channel points, or you can submit money on the bottom left there, and you can skip the queue. So yeah, there's 2 ways you can skip the queue. I'm gonna actually read out the queue right now so you guys know where you're at. So it looks like we have a total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tracks. And we have Day One's first, Zermatt second, New Life third, Kari fourth, Leonard Ellis fifth, Misguided. Yeah, your link is broken, so if you want to resubmit, you can. Desmoda, Swell Times, Too Geeked? Yeah, Too Geeked. Sorry, I couldn't read this right here. 2 Geeks and 2, so I'm only gonna do the first one, just FYI. Soldier Boy by Louie Louie. And again, don't get discouraged if you're like in the back of the line. Sometimes people don't show up, so this line might go very quick. Sorry, I said quack. Very quick. All right. Up first, do we have Day Ones? Do we have Day Ones in the chat? Okay, Day Ones is here. Cool. Let's get it.
Bad boys make good girls go crazy. Bad boys make good girls go crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Crazy. Bad boys make good girls go crazy. 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 Bad boys make good girls go
Over it. Over it. Over it. Over it. Drop it. Over it.
Nice one, bruv. It looks like the chat was liking this one too. Really dope idea. I think you sent this one already, right? I think I recognized a lot of the sound design and stuff here. Yeah, we decided that this was breaks instead of drum and bass or something else. Ask him about the snare. What do you want me to ask him about the snare? I do like the snare though. I think the snare's really cool. I was gonna mention something about the snare later, but how is that so long? I feel like Eric has Eric has an issue with really long snares though. I think it has a really nice reverb, but I think the tail is pretty long. I think the sample is very nice though. Yeah, overall I really like this idea. It's really cool sound design. I think there's a lot of really cool variations here. I'm loving the sound selection. Yeah, Eric clarifies that he loves the snare. Okay. I want to steal a snare. Yeah, day ones, if you can drop the Dropbox links for that snare, I think Eric wants to cop it. Shadow samples. Yeah, overall really digging the sound design and sound selection here. I think that's really like the main thing, and I think if for any really good track you want really solid samples and sound selection, and I think you did a really good job of that, Jared. Really good job of that here. I like the vocal, actually both vocals. I actually like both vocals here, but they're definitely too dry for my taste. I think they definitely need some reverb to them, give them a little bit more depth. But yeah, it kind of just feels like those vocals are just like sitting on top of the beat instead of being like part of the whole mix. So yeah, you said that you're getting into like the mixing portion of the track, so definitely add some reverb onto those vocals. Really nice low end when it does come in. I noticed it here, here, and yeah. Overall, really nice variations. My main piece of feedback here is that there's a lot of inconsistency with the arrangement, particularly with the sub. The sub seems to come in and out kind of randomly, as opposed to being kind of like structured out and feeling the sub almost very consistently. So I noticed it kind of drops out midway through the drop here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Yeah, there you go. The sub kind of falls out in this midsection right here, and this whole second drop section is pretty much devoid of any sub at all. So yeah, main thing is like the sub needs to definitely be there when the drops are happening. And secondly, I think I think the arrangement here is a little bit inconsistent. So a lot of what I'm getting at basically is that like there's a lot of really cool variations here, but without the sub and without like a proper arrangement, you're not getting a really nice flow and momentum in the track. So you don't really get to like sit with it because a lot of stuff kind of drops out, especially the sub. So I think it needs a little bit more of a stronger structure and arrangement to kind of keep the flow moving forward and kind of lead the listener along a little bit better. So that's the main thing. That's the main thing that I noticed here, besides the reverb on the vocals. We could use some transitional elements. I think transitional elements will definitely help with the arrangement. I noticed it particularly here, going from this first drop into the break section here. It kind of was just like a really quick drop off. So if we could get some, risers or exhausts, some white noise stuff, crashes, that kind of thing, having some solid transitional effects will definitely help kind of solidify the arrangement, so it kind of flows a bit easier and more fluidly. I do like. I also noted here. I really like that addition of that second female vocal. I might actually, as far as arrangement goes, I might actually introduce that a bit sooner. That way, it kind of gets solidified as part of the arrangement because it only comes in the second break. So maybe, kind of introduce it a little bit sooner. You can do kind of like a call response with the male and female vocal. I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah, I think that would definitely be really cool to have a little bit of a juxtaposition between the male vocal and the female vocal. Have them play together throughout the entire arrangement. I think that would be really cool. Snare is nice. I do agree. I like that snare. I like that snare sample. It has a nice little reverb to it, but I do think it needs a little bit more power in the low end. So maybe that's just a matter of kind of bringing it up a little bit and then maybe adding a bit of saturation, kind of boosting a little bit of the low mids. That way we get a little bit of a little bit more power with that snare. So yeah, that's the main pieces of feedback I have here. Primarily, just make sure the sub is playing in your drop sections. We need a more consistent and solid arrangement and structure. Some solid sound effects, and then a little bit more power to that snare. And I think this is a very solid tune. The very like I said, sample selection, sound selection is fucking great. Would you suggest even boosting the mid in the mid side mode to make it pop? You could definitely do that. See, the thing is, like, especially if you're going to play this out live, most sound systems are going to be mono. So anything you put on the mid side is almost going to be kind of negligent anyways. But I think for streaming purposes, that would work. But for live play, it'll be kind of negligible, honestly. So always something to think about. The end user here, where this music is going to be played. Try to keep as many things mono as possible. Yeah. But yeah, overall dope tune, day ones. Hell yeah, brother. Good job. Definitely hearing an improvement from the first time. All right. Do we have Zermatt? I think Zermatt is actually in another time zone. He might actually be in Europe or something. So he might not be here. He did submit this from the Discord, from one of the Discords that I am part of. So I might just do this one offline after we go through the rest of these tunes. So yeah, just to give him something to work on. All right. Oh, with the Italian. Yeah. All right. Do we have the man's new life? New life in the chat. New life. Do we have the man's new life in the chat? What's up, Space Cowboy? There he is. Perfect timing. All right. I'm going to call out the names again just so you guys know where you're at. New Life, Kari, Leonard Ellis, Misguided, Your Blink is Broken, Desmoda, Swell Times, Too Geeked, Louie, and We Love Astro. Again, if you guys want to skip the queue, you guys can either use your channel points or submit monies on the bottom left there. Totally up to you.
Let me see you turn into the freak. House bitches is the only thing that we like. Let me see you turn into the freak. House bitches is the only thing that we like. Wait. House bitches is the only thing that we like. Where you at? House bitches is the only thing that we like. Where you at?
Ice One Bruv. Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is kind of a long song, but I think it's also probably along the lines of like techno. So, typically techno has pretty long songs. You can always just, just like Leonard Ellis said, you can just call this a. Oh no, who the fuck is Robo actually said it. You can actually just make this an extended mix and then just chop it down a little bit just to make a radio edit. That's something you could do for sure. But I dig this. This is a really cool idea. Normally I don't fuck with techno. But I think it's really cool. It's definitely like techno / tech house. It definitely has like kind of elements of both, which is really cool. I'm digging the low end here. It's very thick. It's very nice. The vocal definitely adds a lot of really nice flavor and character here. The kick is huge. There's lots of rumble here. So yeah, I would just be careful. Yeah, it's like that middle ground of like tech house and techno, Yeah, it's definitely playing both sports there. Yeah, I would be careful with a lot of that low end stuff. This kick sub, make sure that your side chain is being used very effectively, so you're not getting too much muddiness. The vocal's really cool. I'm really digging the sound design and sound selection here. I did note that the vocal maybe has a little bit too much low mid range, so it does get a little bit muddy there. So yeah, once you get into mixing mode, definitely kind of try and lock in on that, just to kind of get rid of a little bit more of that low end mud. Really nice reverb and delay on the vocal. I think that's a very nice touch. It adds a nice little bit of depth and ambiance there. Very thick drop. I'm loving a lot of the variations and kind of ear candy stuff you got going on. Really nice arrangement overall. The second drop might be a little bit long for my taste, but yeah, you can definitely kind of go in and make this a shorter version if you really wanted to. I really love when the vocal, you're kind of using the vocal as like a build-up element. I think that's a really nice touch. Very simple, but very effective. And I'm loving the breakbeat lead into the second drop. I'm a sucker for breakbeats, so that was a very nice touch. I'm loving the sirens on the second drop. That also adds a nice bit of variation and adds in quite a bit of energy as well. I think that's a good good touch there. I did note here that the clap gets lost in the mix, so that clap kind of it seems like it's overshadowed by a lot of the low end. So I would either boost up that clap in the mix or replace the sample or layer it with a secondary clap just to give it a little bit more power and oomph, just to kind of make it cut through a little bit more. One other thing I noted here, I think the siren can cut out. There's a turnaround here where it's basically just a vocal playing. I think you can chop out the siren so it's a little bit more dramatic when the turnaround happens.
That we like. Where you at? You at? Back. Where you at? Back.
Yeah, so that little turnaround there with the kick and the vocal, maybe cut out the siren immediately on that first kick. Da, 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 da. That way that turnaround is a lot more dramatic. It kind of just it'll throw the listener off like, oh fuck, and then you kind of just bring shit back in. A nice little fake out.
Where you at? Back.
So like you could just chop out the siren for that little section and then bring it back in. How do you feel about the amen break to the drop? Is it too unexpected? The amen break. Oh, you mean the lead in? I think it's fucking great. I love breakbeats.
House, bitches is the only thing that we like.
I think maybe one thing to kind of make it a little bit more powerful is just have like a short bit of silence right between where the breakbeat plays and then it goes into the drop, because it feels like it kind of just rolls in. So maybe just like a sweet bit of silence. Maybe even just like have like a clap kind of like ring out. And then, you know, something like that. You can play around. You can play around with it. But yeah, having just like a little bit more silence, even in just like a little bit, like a 1 bar, 2 bar kind of thing. I think that would make the drop even more impactful. Yeah. But yeah, this is a really dope idea. Definitely just needs a little bit of mixing refinement and stuff. But I think overall the main idea is there. You don't really need to do too much to this. Just kind of clean up some stuff. Yeah. Really dope idea. Good job, New Life. Dope tune. Hell yeah. All right. Do we have Kari? Kari in the chat. Kari. Yeah, it's beautiful outside. Sun is barely setting. Kari going once. Oh yeah. Looks like Misguided is here. Misguided, your link was broken if you want to resubmit. Just FYI though. Kari. Where are you, Kari? Going once. Going twice. All right, looks like Kari's not here. All right, so we got the man's Leonard Ellis, and then Misguided. If you want to submit your link, you're up next after that. Let's do it. Nice one, bruv. Yeah, dude, this one's fucking groovy as fuck. I think this is actually mixed really well too. Everything's pretty clean. Everything feels like it's like pretty well balanced. I've replaced the clap pan with these bongo. Yeah, you tend to, yeah, it tends to be kind of like one of your bread and butter kind of elements. Those little like clap, those little clap like trills and stuff. Those little clap fills. But yeah, I noticed that you replaced those with bongos, which is really cool. Yeah, overall, this is a really dope tune. Very solid arrangement overall too. It was really easy to follow along, really easy to listen along, and very solid groove overall. Very thick kick, really nice clap, and just basically just really nice drums overall. I think the sound selection on the drums is really good. Very cool vocal sample. Definitely adds a lot of character and flavor here. Nice bass line and low end. Like I mentioned already, very solid groove. Really cool ear candy stuff. Really digging the drop and the groove overall. Really nice variations. Adding those little ear candies on top. Very solid arrangement, very good use of energy throughout, push pull stuff, very nice use of energy and kind of keeping the momentum going from this drop into the second break into the following drop. Two things that I noted here, those little womps, those sound a bit too dry to me, so I would probably add a touch of reverb just to give it a little bit of depth. And then one other thing that I noticed is a little bit of a pop. That's weird. A little bit of a pop. And I noticed it particularly here at the end of the track, but I'm assuming that it happens a couple of times throughout the track, so maybe you can hear what I'm hearing. There's a little bit of a click right there, a little bit of a click. So yeah, there's just something that you can probably clean up. I'm sure if it's happening there, it's probably happening, somewhere else in the track too. So just something to keep mind of. But overall, this is a really dope tune. Very good job, very well done, Leonard Ellis. This is basically close to being ready to ship out. I think you can start pitching this probably this week to some labels, some Latin tech stuff. Good job, man. Very dope tune here. You can go to sleep now if you want to. All right. We have the man's Misguided, then Desmoda, Swell Times, Too Geeked, Louie, We Love Astro. I don't think we have any other submissions for right now. So yeah, that's what we have in the queue. Let's do it. Hell yeah. Some drum and bass. This definitely feels more on like the experimental side of things. Because the arrangement doesn't feel very what's the word? Traditional. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a very traditional sort of arrangement for this kind of style. So it definitely feels more like on the experimental side of things. One thing I did notice at the end here, there's a little click. Little, little. So yeah, just something to be mindful of right there. But yeah, there's lots of really cool shit going on here. Loving the sound design. The drums are also very nice. Really big sub and really big synths. I love a lot of the melodic elements here. However, one thing that I did note here is that the vocal feels like it's out of place. Maybe it's just the key of that vocal not matching up with the bass line, because you have a lot of really cool kind of like wubs and kind of growls and stuff that are going on like the kind of like drum and bassy side of things. A lot of those sounds are very dope. I think those should be kind of like the focus of the track as opposed to some of your melodic elements like the vocal and the okay. Oh, it's done. Okay. So, like I was saying, I think, you know, the vocal's cool, except that it feels like it's a little bit out of place. And I think it's only because the vocal key is not matching up with a lot of the bassline stuff. So a lot of your really cool like wubs and growls and stuff, I think that should be the primary focus here. And everything else should be there just to support it, especially for this style of music, you know, drum and bass, jungle, whatever you want to call it. That should be the primary focus here, and the vocal and kind of the more melodic elements like that piano, same thing. Piano and vocal both, they're really cool elements, but I feel like they kind of feel out of place only because I think they're playing a different key than your main bass line. Yeah, maybe that's just me, but I would just check that. Maybe the piano is in the right key, but I think the piano is actually a really cool element. But maybe it just needs to play different notes, kind of keep it in line with the rest of the bass line. I did put here, I think the bass line is doing some really cool shit, and that should be the primary focus here, with the vocal and melodic elements playing more of a support role. The sub is very nice here. I think the sub is fucking really sick. The sub is basically almost everything here, which is exactly what you want from drum and bass, quite frankly. Sub and your drums need to be like the main thing. Sub, mid bass, drums. Everything else should be playing support. Also, what I wrote here is I feel like the arrangement might need some work just to get a little bit of a better flow. And I noted here that the last drop, this like section right here, what timestamp is this? So like 346 and onward, that section right there feels more like a break than it does like a drop. Because it feels like more like you're kind of just like grooving out instead of like just like rocking out, which you should be doing with drum and bass. And I think it's just a matter of kind of just like arranging things a little bit more neatly so that, you know, you're playing the break section when the break should be playing and then drop section when the drop should be playing. Yeah. I feel like a lot of this sound design that's right here felt like it should be more in the drop, and then a lot of the sound design over here should be in the break. So it's like kind of like reversed. Yeah, that stuff, that wild and crazy like sound design should be in the drop. And then all this like kind of more mellow melodic stuff should be in the break section. That's basically what I'm getting at. A lot of the more high energy stuff in the drop, a lot of the more down tempo melodic stuff should be in the break section. Yeah. That's basically it. I think there's a lot of really fucking cool ideas here though. I think there's a lot of really cool sound design. Yeah, I think this is a really dope idea. I think it just needs to be a little bit more refined is the best word for it. But yeah, good job, Misguided. Glad you were able to resubmit your link. Hell yeah. Excuse me. All right. Up next, we got Desmoda. The man's Desmoda. With the 6-minute long tune. Yeah, no problem, man. All right, Desmoda's here. Let's do it. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, I did recognize this track, but I only recognized it because those guitars came in. And it definitely sounds like you took my advice from the last time, because I was like, dude, those guitars are like the fucking shit, and they should be like the main thing. And I think it sounds like you definitely took that to heart, and you basically made it the main thing. And it sounds great. I think this track is basically fucking done. Yeah, it definitely sounds like it's more filled out for sure. Very nice kick and very nice hats. Very solid groove overall. Really nice perks. It definitely sounds like you definitely have this like unique sound, and I've said it like many times already. It sounds like music that I would hear like at a desert festival or like some sort of like forest festival. Definitely something like out in nature. Definitely has that vibe to it, and I think that's like really fucking cool. It's definitely like kind of like your signature sound, which is cool. Overall, I love that guitar sounding synth. It's really nice. Wow, 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 wow. Very nice perks. I think you do a really good job with the layering here. Really good job with the filtering per usual. That's kind of like your bread and butter. But it definitely adds like this nice like momentum, adds like this nice variation, kind of keeps things like fresh and open. I think that's very well done. I'm loving the arrangement here. Obviously, it's a longer track. That's kind of like your thing. But I definitely didn't get bored here. I think, like I said, you do a good job with the layering and the filtering, so it kind of keeps things kind of fresh and moving forward. And I also noted here, very nice LFO on that guitar. So like in the beginning part of the track, it's kind of like that kind of guitar sound is kind of just like open and playing through. And then you have like a nice LFO coming in on the, I guess like that's a second drop. So it's kind of like more flanged out. So it's really cool. It definitely adds this kind of like desert vibe to it, almost like a spaghetti western or something. You know what I mean? Overall, very solid mix. Very solid arrangement. I think this is basically done, man. This is a really, really dope tune. Good job, Desmoda. Hell yeah, brother. I don't really have any feedback for you. I think this is good. Hell yeah, brother. The Wook flu. The Wook flu. Has anybody here ever had the Wook flu? If you've ever been to a festival and gotten sick afterwards, you've definitely had the Wook flu. It's been a long time since I've had the Wook flu. I think the last time was probably maybe a desert festival, but it's been a while. Maybe like 2018 or something like that. Wook flu is terrible, man. Got that shit 4 times. Oh man. If anything, it's probably a testament. Your immune system is probably like strong as fuck now for having the Wook flu that many times. So yeah, I think that's probably a good thing. Your immune system's probably thanking you for introducing all that wookery into your system. All right, let's dive into this tune. Fucking sick one, bruv. That's fucking funny, man. Spin that shit back. Well, okay, I can, but you have to use your channel points. There's actually a rewind in there. There's a track rewind if you use your channel points. So I'd be happy to do that if you want to use your channel points. This is a fucking dope tune, honestly. I don't listen to a whole lot of bass music, and I don't make bass music, but this was fucking dope. You're like 90 away from it. This is fucking huge. Really big intro. Loving the respace. Very nice synth to it. To introduce in the intro. The drop's fucking fat. Loving the sub and the snare. I agree. Somebody said it in the chat that the snare is very crispy. I absolutely 100% agree. I think that was Louis. Louis said that. The snare is fucking very nice. Combination of the snare and the sub definitely, you know, kind of adds the kind of foundation, the bed, if you will, of this entire track. And then everything else kind of plays on top, which is very nice. Sound design is fucking amazing. I think this is mixed very well too. You're getting a lot of like really nice deep low end, and it's not muddy. You're getting a nice little like crispiness on the top end with a lot of those synths and stuff, a lot of the ear candy stuff, and that snare definitely cuts through the mix, which is very nice. Very nice swing here. Loving the variations in the sound design. Loving the arrangement overall. Loving the change up on the second drop as well. And those background vocals are very cool. It kind of made me feel like I was like stuck in the desert, high on K or something. I've actually I don't think I've ever done K intentionally. I did it on accident. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was getting, you know, kind of stuck in the desert, you know. But yeah, this is fucking cool. I don't think you should change anything on this track. I think it sounds perfect exactly as it is. Yes, I use that word very intentionally. Yes, this is a very dope tune. I think Swell Times, you know, you don't have to do anything with this, do anything else with this. I think it's good to go. Yeah, release that shit for sure. Good job, Swell Times. Dope tune here. All right. Do we have Too Geeked? Too Geeked in the chat. That's me. All right, let's do it.
California on my license plate. Last year they ain't even like the bank. California on my license plate.
And another sideshow took over the entire westbound side of the Bay Bridge.
Last year they ain't even like the bank. they ain't even like the bass. Yeah. Last year they ain't even like the bass. Yeah. I ain't gon' stop, no. I can really get it if I want. I ain't gon' stop, but no. I ain't gon' stop, but no. For the home with a slang, yeah. Bad bitches do my game, yeah. Big bag with a aim, yeah. You ain't really what you claim. Why you always in the way? Fat ass little ways. Bitch, you gon' make it shake. Say you got it, but you ain't. Put me on some. 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 Yeah, we really going down. Put me on some. 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 Yeah, we really going down. I'm so spiced. I can't even feel my face.
Nice one, bro. Very solid groove here. That was the main thing that I noticed here was the groove. Groove is like basically everything. I think especially with like this kind of style of like house, tech house, you definitely want a very solid groove, and I think you did that very well. Kick sub is very nice. You said that the sub was loud, but honestly, I think the sub was right where it needed to be. I didn't really have a problem with that. I really dig the vocal. The vocal's very cool. I think there might be a little bit too much reverb on the hats, and the hats can probably come up a bit more in the mix, I think, because right now they feel a little bit kind of like they're underneath some of the other elements. I did note here, I think the arrangement needs a bit of work, but I think the main thing is that I think the arrangement is actually fine. I think it just, some of the elements need to be kind of adjusted a little bit, I think is the best way I could put that. The vocal is cool, but I think having the vocal playing full phrases at the intro is kind of a misfire. I think what you should do instead in the intro is use shorter phrases of that vocal just to kind of tease it in, or even vocal chops. Yes, I was gonna note that. I was gonna note that specific thing, that it's a little bit too busy, but I'm gonna get more into that in a little bit. I think having the vocal play like smaller portions in the intro would be better, but play full phrases in the break sections and the build sections. So I think this first break build is fine with how much the vocal is playing, but I think the intro you can kind of just tease in the vocal a little bit more, so it's like not so much like full on phrases going on, just like the main hook. Okay. Really cool drop. But yes, the first drop is a little bit busy, especially compared to the second drop. I think what I noted here is that the arrangement, the first half of the arrangement feels a little bit too busy. The second half of the arrangement feels perfect. Like the second half of the arrangement feels a little bit more straightforward and refined. It seems more simple, which is definitely what you want because it's going to keep the listener more engaged. But the first half of the arrangement, basically the intro, first break build, and the first drop, kind of need to be kind of simplified a little bit more. There's a lot of like really cool stuff going on, but I think there's too much stuff going on, so it's very difficult to kind of hone in on one thing, which is going to get kind of the listener a little bit kind of confused to kind of see what they should like latch onto, essentially. But I do think, like I said, from the second break onwards is perfect. I think the second drop is kind of exactly what I'm thinking as far as like simplicity and keeping things very like straightforward and clear cut. You know, it's very, the second drop feels a little bit more effective because, you know, all I really have is like kick, sub, bass line, and then like ear candies kind of playing on top. But the ear candies are a little bit more selective on the second drop as opposed to the first drop where there's a lot of ear candies, but they're kind of like all over the place. It feels like. Yeah, second half of the arrangement I think is better. It's a little bit more straightforward. Yeah, so I think that's basically where it's that's my main piece of feedback, is that the first half of the drop could probably be simplified a little bit. Second half of the drop from the second break and onwards sounds perfect. So yeah, that's pretty much that's all I would say that you would need to do with this track, and I think, you know, it's gonna sound even better. But so far, like, it's a really dope idea. Just needs a little bit more refinement to it. Good job, Too Geeked. Dope tune here. All right, we got a tune from Quacks and a skip, so he's gonna jump the line right now. So we got Quacks, we got Louie, we got We Love Astro, and Minkus. We have no other submissions right now, so those are the only 4 we got going on. Oh, it looks like I already listened to this tune, but you probably improved it, so I'm gonna need a watermark from you. Okay. Yeah, it looks like I already listened to this one, but probably this is an updated version, so yeah, let's give this a listen. Very nice. Yeah, this one definitely sounds more kind of open. There's a lot more dynamics going on, which is really cool. I think that's especially good with bass music, especially because there's a lot more open space. I feel like, but yeah, really big sound, really big intro, fat low end. I did note here. I think there's a lot going on in the build section because you have like a couple of synths. You have the kick. You have a sub. And then you have the vocal. So there's a lot going on there. I would almost try and go through that section in particular. Both your builds. I think actually the intro is fine, but the build sections, I think there's a lot of stuff going on in there. So maybe kind of go through and mute some things and see what are the elements that are going to be the most important, the things that you need to prioritize. Almost like basically just doing subtractive production as opposed to additive, adding more stuff in to make it sound bigger. I think you kind of can almost kind of dial things back, and then it'll make those elements that are like really important. You can kind of pump those up, and then they'll be even bigger and louder, I think. Yeah. The drop is fat. I love the low end. The low end's very nice. I think the drop is very effective. Again, because I think it's more simple. There's a lot fewer elements going on. The main focus is basically drums, sub, and the bass. So I think, yeah, the drop is very effective. Really dope sound design. I'm loving the snare. Definitely cuts through the mix. The vocal kind of gets lost a bit on the drop sections. So you might have to pull out some elements that are playing right next to the vocal that are sitting in the same frequency range, or secondarily, you could just use a track spacer or a Pro Q3 in dynamic mode, and it can kind of help that vocal kind of cut through a little bit more. So one or two things. You could either, kind of remove some elements so that the vocal kind of pops through, or you can just use a track spacer or a Pro Q3 and just have the other elements kind of duck while the vocal comes up, so it'll pop up. Overall, very solid arrangement. Very easy to follow along. Yeah, really cool idea. Good job, Quacks. Hell yeah, brother. Welcome to the stream here. We got 3 more tunes here. We got Louie up next. Then after that, we Love Astro and then Minkus. So let's get it. We're almost done here.
Pretty girls stand boy swaggin' in the club, I feel sexy. No homo. No homo, shorty, but my chest is straight flexin'. Tatted on my neck. Shorty say she choose me. She got nice titties and a fat ass booty. Took her to my condo, let the girl strip. Then she got naked, then she pretty girl dip. Soldier. Damn, I like the way the mama shake that ass. She pretty girl dancing while I pretty boy swag. God damn, right here is my swag. All the girls are on me. Damn, everybody pay attention. This right here is my pretty boy swag. 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 Girl, on my dick, when I pretty boy swag. Girl, scream my name when I pretty boy swag. Get out the way. Pretty boy coming through. Me and my crew, we swaggin' in the room. Girls on me heavy cause I look so sexy. Yellow diamond shawty in the club, straight flexin'. I'm looking for a yellow zone, long hair star. Thick in the hips, come get in my car. Party with a star. We take off and go to Mars. Pretty boy take off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This right here is my swag. All the girls are on me. Damn, everybody pay attention. This right here is my pretty boy swag. 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 Pretty boy swag.
Hell yeah, brother. Dude, I was vibing the whole time here, man. I agree. Very, very smooth. I fucks with this. This is fucking sick. This is something that I would even play out, man, honestly. I tend to play out a lot of like kind of like random bootlegs and stuff like that in my sets. But definitely along the lines of something that I would play out. Very nice kick and hats. Loving the pads and all the melodic, like those chords. Vocal is very well processed, although I do think the vocal could probably use a touch of de-essing to kind of catch that vocal sizzle a little bit. Very nice introduction of the vocal as well. I think it's it's kind of used a little bit more subtly in the intro, and then once you get into the break, it's definitely a lot more full force. You're using longer phrases, so very nice, well done there. Very nice energy in the builds, both builds. The drop is fucking fat. That's all I can say about that. It's fucking fat. The low end goes crazy. Kick sub is very nice, and it's very clean as well. So you're definitely using your sidechain there effectively. I did note here those chords are dope, but I think they could be a little bit more present in the drop sections. I think primarily that's just like a mixing thing. You could probably just add a little bit more saturation to them so that you get a little bit more top end, because right now obviously I think the vocal is a little bit more of the priority here. So it's definitely, the vocal is a little bit more front and center, so the chords kind of play a little bit more of a supporting role, which is not a bad thing. I think that's actually the best choice for that. But I think the vocal, I'm sorry, I think the chords could probably just use a little bit more saturation so you get a little bit more excitement on the top end, so they're a little bit more present. Yeah, I think that would do well. Overall, super solid arrangement. It was really easy to follow along, so very well done on that. Yeah, really, my only pieces of feedback are just like minor mixing things. I think the vocal could just use a little bit of de-essing on it just to catch some of that vocal sizzle from the S's. And then a little bit more saturation on those chords in the drop section. But yeah, dope tune, Louie Louie. When this is done, I mean, I guess you're probably going to submit it to, either you're going to self-release Yeah, those airy chords in the drop. So here, I'll just play it real quick.
My crew, we swaggin' in the room. Girls on me heavy cause I look so sick.
Yeah, so those could use a little bit more saturation, so you get a little bit more top end there. Give them a little bit more air. But yeah, that's really it. Those are the only two things. I think everything to go. Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do with this track, whether you're gonna self-release or there's a lot of labels that pick up. Oh, whoops. Pretty but swag. Do. I'm gonna go pee actually real quick. All right, you Gucci? Nice. Yeah, basically what I was getting at is I don't know whether you're gonna because each follow release that's also a very solid move too. Either or, I think it's a good way to go. I've been making a lot more bootlegs this year. I have a lot of them coming out. I have what do I have? I just released a Better Off Alone bootleg on Yospace not too long ago. I have like Smooth Operator Sade coming out soon. I have what else? Poison, Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison. No, don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it, honestly. But yeah, whatever you end up doing with this tune, just let me know. I'm down to play this one out live whenever it gets released. You said you're from Dallas. I've been trying to come out to Dallas for a while now. I've been hitting up Fancy Pants for a while to see if I could play. They said that they're interested, but yeah, they said it's gonna take a while. But yeah, dope tune. Good job, Louie. Hell yeah, brother. All right. So we got We Love Astros. We Love Astro in the chat. We Love Astro. We Love Astro. Yeah, I got your tune here. You're up third after We Love Astro and Minkus. We Love Astro. Are you still here? Do. Oh, looks like he's not in the chat, unfortunately. Oh, wait. No, he's still in the chat. He just hasn't responded. We Love Astro. Are you still here? Oh, there you are. Cool. All right. Let's do it.
Are you ready to? Turn up. Turn up. Turn up. Turn up.
Fucking wild, dude. This fucking track is like tons of energy. Fucking crazy. Lots going on though, for sure. I think this track definitely needs a solid mixdown session. And I think primarily I noticed it by looking at the top here. If you look at the waveforms, especially in the drop, it feels like it's kind of being squashed almost. So like you're not getting a full dynamic range, especially on that low end. The low end feels like it's being kind of muted in a way. So my presumption is that there's a little bit of a low cut, or maybe just a little bit too much compression going on, because these dynamics look squashed. And I'm going to show you right here at the top left there. So especially in the drop sections, you should get, you know how the transients are looking more like a purple kind of violet color. Your transients should definitely look more like a red orange. So yeah, my presumption just looking at that is that your dynamics are getting squashed. And especially for a track like this, you want the dynamics to kind of breathe a little bit more. So yeah, I think this track just really just needs a solid mixdown session to kind of keep everything sort of kind of like open and breathing a little bit more. I love, yeah, the stream is like being weird right now. Let me see. Oh, yeah, my stream is like dying or cutting out. There we go. I think it might have come back. Yeah. Dude, I don't know. It's jumping all over the place right now. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. My stream is like completely running at like 700 kilobits per second, which is crazy. It should be running at like 2000. Yeah, I don't know. It's being really slower now for whatever reason. And I'm not running anything else in the background. So it's just being dumb for no reason.